Magandang Umaga, Filipinas. Good morning. You're watching Eagle News Mornings from Canada. I'm Thomas I. Likeness, reporting from our Eagle News studio in the Western Canadian province of Alberta. My city is Edmonton, and we're here today to bring you news and commentary from across the country. Well, good Tuesday morning. You know, I like Tuesdays because it's the beginning of the work week for me. Like sitting back here, being able to talk with you folks. Let's begin, though, with a look at the weather in Metro. AccuWeather forecasting partly sunny skies in Manila today. Should get up to about 33 degrees with a real feel of about 38. Expect a thunder shower this afternoon, maybe one or two more in the early evening. Currently, though, we've got some clouds, 27 degrees, feels like 33. If you're going to be outside today, a good day for it. The air quality is rated as excellent. Time now for that second cup of coffee. The job is right over there. Fill your cup, sit back, relax, and I'll tell you what's happening in Canada. First, we'll take a look at the weather across the country. Our street scene today coming from Squamish, and a big thank you to Eagle News correspondent Kathleen Cruz for our street scene. Beginning on the west coast, lots of sunshine, 15 degrees in Victoria. Vancouver also sunny and 20 degrees. Across the mountains eastward into Alberta, where it's cloudy and, it was cloudy and raining a little bit earlier in Edmonton, got up to about 16 degrees. It's a little bit on the chilly side for this time of the year in our city here. Calgary's cloudy and 12. In Saskatchewan, Regina reporting some clouds and 19 degrees. Mostly cloudy in Saskatoon and 18. Winnipeg, partly cloudy, but it's really hot there. All the way up to 30 degrees. They've had a bit of a heat wave there for about a week now. That heat wave continues as we move eastward to Toronto, also 30 degrees and partly cloudy, and also pretty hot up in Ottawa, some clouds, 27 degrees. Now it cools off somewhat as we head eastward. Montreal's cloudy and 23. The Atlantic provinces have cooled down quite a bit from last week. Fredericton, cloudy and only got up to 20 degrees today. Halifax, mostly cloudy and 21. St. John's, Newfoundland, mostly cloudy and 20. That's a look at our weather from across Canada. Here are some of the stories we're following today. The latest projections on how the pandemic is spreading in Canada. Canada's Prime Minister keeping an eye on the COVID-19 situation in the United States. We'll tell you why. Prime Minister Trudeau also saying he's going to be a little bit less visible in the coming weeks. And coronavirus still a problem among migrant farm workers in southern Ontario. Oh, and I want to tell you about a guest that you do not want to invite to your Canada Day party. We'll tell you about that all coming up here on Eagle News Mornings Canada. Well, public health officials say the COVID-19 pandemic in Canada is largely under control. But Chief Public Health Officer Dr. Theresa Tam warning that cases can reemerge anytime, any place. First, we'll look at the predictions, then we'll see what she was thinking. First of all, gazing into the crystal ball, epidemiologists suggest there could be as many as 108,000 cases by July the 12th. That's an increase of about 5,000. Now, this again is since the pandemic began back in March. They expect over the next couple of weeks up to 300 more deaths, which would bring the death toll to around 8,800. Now, the good news, says Tam, is the rate of daily increase, by and large, is declining, as is the number of people in hospital and the number of COVID patients in intensive care, all on the way down. So that's good news. But she says, crowded environments such as nursing homes, that's what's led to the major outbreaks. Somewhat under control, but we still have to monitor that. And we've also got to keep an eye on work environments. We saw outbreaks in several meat packing plants because, again, people are working close together. Those packing plants, by and large, have put in measures to at least mitigate the lack of physical distancing. Now, in southern Ontario, they're dealing with an increase in the number of cases among migrant farm workers. We'll talk about that a little bit more after some of Dr. Tam's other observations. Cases among the elderly are on the decline, but younger people are the ones showing an increase in the infection rate. I'm talking about the 20-year-old to 40-year-old demographic there. And how is the infection spreading? How is that changing? Well, these days, instead of nursing homes and close contact there, social gatherings to blame. And again, we'll focus on that a bit more later in the program. Tam says Canada still needs a proper system of contact tracing. She says we need to be able to find out who's infected. We need to be able to isolate them effectively, and this is what will prevent a second wave. She warns the virus has not been eliminated, and without a vaccine, just lifting public health restrictions is going to mean more cases. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau agrees with that. He says now is not the time to take our foot off the gas when it comes to prevention.
Takeaway from these projections. After a very challenging spring, things are continuing to move in the right direction. We still have some hot spots in some parts of the country, but nationally, the number of cases, hospitalizations, and deaths is declining over time. And that's because Canadians are doing their part. You took this seriously. You followed public health instructions and made sacrifices so we could get this virus under control. I want to stress, though, that while we're on the right track, the fight against COVID-19 is not over yet. As we start to reopen parts of the economy, we must continue to follow local public health guidelines to keep each other safe.
Now, those hotspots that he's referring to are primarily in Quebec and Ontario. Ontario reporting 257 new cases on the weekend. More than two-thirds, 177 of them, that works out to 68%. They were migrant farm workers in southern Ontario. What's happening there is the province wants to test all of those workers. Again, they live in very, very crowded conditions. So if one person gets infected, the virus just races through that dormitory-like housing. Trudeau says he doesn't want to see Canada going down the same path as the United States. You've probably heard about the increase in the number of daily cases in the U.S. So far, the virus has infected 2.5 million people in the United States, claimed more than 125,000 lives, and it's not finished. In fact, with the recent increases, many states have had to roll back reopening plans and reimpose restrictions. Trudeau says he just doesn't want to see that happening here in Canada.
The situation we're seeing in the United States and elsewhere highlights for us is that even as our economy is reopening, we need to make sure we are continuing to remain vigilant, individually and collectively. That means continuing to wear masks when we can't keep 2 meters apart, continuing to be careful about coming into contact with people, continuing to practice what the public health officers are recommending in your regions. We need to continue to be careful even as we reopen so that we don't lose all the significant progress we've made through some very difficult sacrifices by Canadians over the past months.
Again, we want to avoid that American situation. It's troubling, given the border restrictions. Non-essential travel, of course, between the two countries restricted. But when will that border reopen? Scheduled to reopen in about 3 weeks, July 21st. Prime Minister Trudeau is hinting, though, there could be further extensions. Trudeau says the July 21st deadline is not written in stone.
Obviously, we're going to continue to put the safety of Canadians at the very top of our priority list, which is why we have extended the border measures with the United States until July 21st. We will continue to assess the situation and work with the Americans on what steps need to be taken into the month of August.
I'd be very surprised if the border reopens in 3 weeks. It's just given what's happening, it's just too soon. And I'll tell you why. Because today the World Health Organization said the pandemic is not even close to being over. And although Canada's doing much better than many other countries in the world, we still have to keep an eye on things here. But that full story on the World Health Organization is up on eaglenews.net if you want all of the details. I'll give you some of the highlights right now. The WHO saying in the 6 months since the virus emerged, more than 10 million cases, and that's only the known ones. You know, I'm sure there's thousands of others that they simply weren't reported because they didn't know. At least 500,000 people dead. But their top officials, their top public health people saying, we're not even close to being over. You know, we've been used to seeing our Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, on a daily basis talking about the pandemic. He's been doing this since March the 13th, and Trudeau says, well, things are going to change now. I'm going to scale back those daily briefings. He says the government will keep publishing numbers every day so that we stay up to date, but he says he's cutting his availabilities back to just a few times per week. Well, we have a big national holiday this Wednesday in Canada. It's Canada Day. Marks the 153rd birthday for the country. 153 years ago, Canada was founded. But the celebrations are going to be different this year. There aren't going to be, hopefully, there's not going to be these massive barbecues and food sharing and so on. I know I'm going to be following the advice of our Chief Medical Officer of Health. Her name's Dr. Dina Hinshaw. Doc Hinshaw says, you know, make sure there's one guest that does not show up uninvited.
Utensils can be a source of infection. This year, it's a good idea for everyone to bring their own food and drinks. And if anyone disagrees with that, you can blame me for that recommendation. I know this may not be the Canada Day you had envisioned, and I know this is frustrating for many. But we have seen that a single barbecue can spark a wide number of cases. We've seen that a single individual who may not even know they have the virus can infect a large number of their friends, co-workers, or neighbors. The virus is still here, and we know gatherings can help to spread it. COVID-19 loves a party, so we can't let our guard down. We truly are in this together, and we need to make sure we protect each other as much as possible.
Yeah, I like the way Dr. Dina put that. COVID-19 loves a party. Something to keep in mind. You know, as we mentioned earlier, the biggest group being infected now is young people, and Doc Hinshaw has some thoughts on that. Hinshaw says social gatherings are mainly to blame for that now.
Many people are tired of following health measures and physical distancing, particularly as the risk of severe outcomes is lower for those under 60 years of age. However, a lower risk does not mean there is no risk at all. In fact, the majority of active cases we have identified in recent weeks are in Albertans under the age of 40. At this time, the average age of COVID-19 infections in Alberta is 39. No one is immune to COVID-19, and currently there are 4 Edmontonians in hospital under the ages of 30.
Kind of frightening when you think about it. There's an outbreak of COVID-19 in a condo building in Calgary. Began about a week ago. So far, 45 cases reported. 34 of them remain active. 3 of them in hospital. 11 people recovered. That's a 25-story building that's involved there. 375 people living there. Alberta Health working with condo management to arrange testing of everybody who's staying there. Also, they want to see the building cleaned properly. Apparently, 4 units in the building have been rented out to Airbnb clients, and who knows what they may have brought in. These would be short-term rentals for people flying into the city. Health officials told reporters last week that touch surfaces in the building could have been a mechanism to spread the disorder. Elevators now restricted to just one household at a time. That would drive me nuts. I lived in a building on the 18th floor, and can you imagine? Each unit, only one unit at a time can use the elevator. Again, we all have to be careful, you know, face mask if you can't distance. I even carry a bottle of hand sanitizer with me now, just a small bottle, keep it in the pocket. In Edmonton, an outbreak at the city's Misericordia Hospital has 11 patients there testing positive, 8 staff members positive as well. That outbreak has been confined to 2 units at the hospital. It also began about a week ago. In an effort to do more testing and make it more convenient for people, Alberta is allowing 20 pharmacies in the province to test for COVID-19. Should be set up sometime this week. Most of the locations will be in Edmonton and Calgary. They'll do the throat swab test. That will then be sent to the labs for analysis. You know, with the drugstores on board, the province figures testing will be about 16,000 people a day. And if successful, this drugstore testing could be expanded to other locations. Still to come, British Columbia will assist parents finding childcare spaces, and there's some help for seniors from the Ontario government. Good morning. If you're just joining us, it's 7:19. You're watching Eagle News Mornings from Canada.
Patindi ng patindi at tuloy-tuloy ang pagpapakita ng galing ng ating mga TNG aspirants.
You're just too good to be true.
It up, you came to get it wrong with a dame, I should have drunk you back.
When I was a child.
Abangan ng kanilang performances sa pinakamalaking talent competition sa buong bansa, Tagisan ng Galing.
Tagisan ng Galing is presented by SMC Infrastructure, building a better world. Sandig sugar-free white coffee, puno ng white coffee taste without the sugar, kaya lower calories. Try mo na Sandig sugar-free white coffee. Sarap ng white coffee, now sugar-free. Vet-approved Nutrichunks, the only premium dog food with active boost for optimum energy and prebiotics that help strengthen immunity. Just like Catherine Bernardo, gawing listo, ganado ang fur babies niyo. Listo ganado sa Nutrichunks. Magnolia Chicken Templados, delicious, ready to cook and freshly marinated daily. Pure Foods Luncheon Meat, pure sarap for every family. Star Chunky Cheese Corned Beef, ang cheesy ng corned beef mo. Walang duda, kids can tell na #1 ang Pure Foods Tender Juicy. Ang tender, ang juicy, ang sarap. Co-presented by Cooper, expert in air conditioning and electromechanical. Also engaged in structural, electrical, fire protection, plumbing, and sanitary services. Cooper, your ultimate MEPS and air conditioning solutions. Unlad Incorporated International, fight against global poverty. New San Jose Builders Incorporated. Canrib Corporation, your ventilation and air conditioning specialist. Vita Herbs Philippines Green Coffee. Masarap, mabango, at healthy pa. Puerto Rico Resort and Convention Center, Cabiao, Nueva Ecija. I love Puerto Rico. In participation with Rain or Shine Elastomeric Waterproofing Paint, Matimco, R Square Variables Incorporated, Compizel Enterprises, Saisho International Trading Corporation, DN Steel, EMAC UPB Roof Corporation.
Hey, Gretchen Ho here, and I'm a white coffee lover. Creamy kasi, and very yummy. Pero mas masarap kung hindi nakaka-guilty. Check my new discovery, Sandmade Sugar-Free White Coffee. Puno ng white coffee taste without the sugar, kaya lower calories. Try mo na! Sandmade Sugar-Free White Coffee. Sarap ng white coffee, now sugar-free.
The Bulacan Bulk Water Project is a treatment facility that will provide bulk water to the 24 municipalities of Bulacan to meet the increasing water demand of its residents. Through concessionaire, SMC Infrastructure also initiated the significant improvements of the Manila North Harbor Port, the country's busiest port.
Listo at ganado ang baby ko sa vet-approved Nutrichunks with active boost and prebiotics na pampalisto. Made with real meat, with essential nutrients to help them grow healthy and happy. Listo, ganado sa Nutrichunks.
Ikaw lang ang star ng buhay ko. Para sa akin, perfect ka. Ibang klase ang sarap ng corned beef mo. Ang cheesy ng corned beef mo. Pag Star Chunky Cheese Corned Beef, sarap ng corned beef, inangat pa ng real cheese cubes. Kaya perfect ang sarap. Star Chunky Cheese Corned Beef.
This is Eagle News Mornings from Canada. I'm Thomas I. Likeness. It's 23 past 7 o'clock, 27 degrees in Metro Manila. Well, Ontario Premier Doug Ford has written a $4 million check, and this money will be used to help seniors in the province. Eagle News correspondent Sabrina De Los Reyes explains.
The Seniors Community Grant Program will be receiving an additional $4 million from the Province of Ontario, as announced by Premier Doug Ford and Deputy Premier and Minister of Health Christine Elliott. The funding will go towards helping nonprofit organizations, local service boards, as well as Indigenous groups to develop programs for seniors that promote their well-being within their communities. Here's Premier Ford with the announcement.
Today, I am proud to announce an investment of an additional $4 million to further support organizations that are helping seniors in their communities. This funding will allow grassroots organizations to develop programs for seniors that focus on combating social isolation, promoting senior safety and well-being, improving financial security, and making communities age-friendly.
This year's grants range from $1,000 to $100,000, which is a significant increase from last year. It will focus on helping seniors and senior couples receive support from their communities, ensuring that they are at a lesser risk of neglect, abuse, fraud, and that their rights remain protected. The funding will also allow more opportunities for employment and volunteering for seniors to have greater financial security, engagement with the community, and reducing their risk of isolation. The deadline to apply for this grant is set for August 7, 2020. Through the Seniors Community Grant Program, along with the gradual reopening of the province, more seniors will have the opportunity to participate in various social and community activities. In his announcement, Premier Ford continues to urge everyone to consistently follow COVID-19 public health protocols. Take a look.
As we gradually reopen the province and more of our seniors get out into the community again, please continue to follow public health advice. Practice physical distancing and wear face coverings when physically distancing is a challenge. Wash your hands frequently and stay home when ill.
In regards to keeping our seniors safe and healthy, Deputy Premier and Minister of Health Christine Elliott gave an update about the situation with long-term care homes following the COVID-19 outbreaks a few weeks ago.
Many of the staff members of long-term care homes who left when the homes were in outbreak, now that the homes are stabilized, that they're following proper infection prevention and control procedures, that they have the necessary PPE in order to do their work, we're finding that many of those staff members are coming back.
Premier Ford gives his word that taking care of Ontario's seniors and the province's most vulnerable communities will remain as the province's top priority. Take a look.
We'll leave nothing on the table when it comes to protecting our seniors and most vulnerable and the people of this province. Because we're talking about someone's parent, talking about someone's grandparent, someone who built this country and this province. That's worth more than anything in the entire world.
Seniors make up one of the largest groups of COVID-19 cases and deaths in Ontario. Now that Ontario is slowly reopening, it is important to ensure that seniors have the support they need to live socially active lives within their communities while remaining protected, safe, and healthy. In Toronto, Sabrina De Los Reyes, Eagle News. We live in interesting times.
We'll talk about childcare now, and joining me live this morning is our Eagle News correspondent in Victoria, Jeanette Doiseau. Jeanette, childcare can be a challenge for parents, and I understand the provincial government there is trying to make sure there's adequate spaces as the economy opens.
Hi, Tom. Thanks for that. Yes, British Columbia going back to work. Parents going back to work would need to drop off their children to childcare centers if they choose to, or if they have no other options for childcare. And in British Columbia, it has always been an issue of not enough affordable and quality childcare centers. From the start of the state of emergency due to COVID-19, some childcare providers remained open and operational with reduced enrollment and prioritized to accept children of essential service workers. They are receiving temporary emergency funding, which will remain in place until end of August 2020. Since July 2018, the provincial government has funded 13,000 new spaces, the fastest creation of childcare spaces in the province history. This includes the announced investment last week of close to 500 new licensed spaces starting July 2020 until early 2021. These 500 new licensed spaces will be in the Greater Vancouver Regional District. And we are talking about projects with a provincial cost of under 40,000 per space. This amount is set to guarantee that the fund will create as many spaces through as many projects in as many communities as possible, especially in areas where the demand for services are the greatest. So the eligible organizations who can apply for the Childcare BC New Spaces Fund program are local governments, school boards, health authorities, public post-secondary institutions, indigenous governments, nonprofit societies, businesses, and corporate companies. But on that, in addition to that challenge with the childcare centers, the province also have the challenges of recruiting and retaining qualified early childhood educators needed in licensed childcare programs, due mainly to low wages. The province, to date, has invested more than 19 million to provide close to 12,000 early childhood educators with our hourly wage enhancement, which increased in April 2020. And this is to recognize the work childhood educators do, especially during this time of COVID-19 crisis. So once operational, the childcare providers will be required to follow guidelines and safety procedures provided by the BC government and BC Center for Disease Control to keep staff, children, and their families safe and to minimize the risk of COVID-19 transmission. In Victoria, British Columbia, Jeanette Duazo, Eagle News. We live in interesting times.
Thank you for joining us this morning, Jeanette. That's our program for today. In Edmonton, Canada, Thomas I. Likeneth, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Stay tuned for Agila, Balita with host Crystal Fresselbaum coming up next.
Thank you, Tom.
Good morning.
Na ang mga pangunahing balita sa loob at labas ng bansa. Tinagit at kinalap ng Agila News Team. Agila Balita.
Narito na ang may init na balita. Ngayon ay Martes, Hunyo 30, 2020. Sa ulo ng mga balita. COVID-19 cases sa bansa umabot na sa 36,438. Bilang naman ang nakarecover, pumalo na sa 9,956. Halos 1,000 units ng UB Express nagsimula ng bumiyahe. Mga hindi pinayagang bumalik pasada, umapila naman sa pamahalaan na payagan na rin silang pumasada para magkaroon na sila ng pagkakakitaan. Enrollment para sa school year 2020-2021, hiniling ng mga mambatas na palawigin pa ng DepEd hanggang July 15, 2020. Sa balitang abroad, halos 30 katao ang patay, ilang dosena pa ang nawawala sa paglubog ng isang ferry sa Bangladesh. Ako ang inyong magiging tagapagbalita. Ako po si Crystal Fresselbaum. Sa detalye ng ating mga balita, umakyat na sa 36,438 ang kabuang bilang ng COVID-19 cases na naitala sa bansa. Ito ay matapos makapagtala ang Department of Health ng 985 pang karagdagan pang kaso. Sa mga bagong bilang na ito ay 643 ang fresh cases, habang 342 naman ang late cases. Sa mga fresh cases, 223 ang mula sa National Capital Region, 106 sa Region 7. Ang 334 naman ay mula sa iba pang lugar. Sa mga late cases naman, ang 96 ay mula sa NCR, 29 mula sa Region 7, 270 naman sa iba pang lugar sa bansa. May naitala namang 270 na nakarecover mula sa sakit. Dahil rito, umakyat na sa 9,956 ang bilang ng mga pasyenteng gumaling mula sa virus. May 11 namang naitalang nasawi dahil sa COVID-19. Sa mga nasawi na ito, 8 ang namatay noon pang June 6 hanggang June 23, ngunit ngayon lamang na-validate ng kagawaran. Sa ngayon, umabot na sa 1,255 ang kabuang bilang ng nasawi sa bansa dahil sa COVID-19. Samantala, sinabi ng Department of Health na 2 kaso ang kanilang inalis mula sa kabuang bilang ng COVID cases sa bansa matapos matukoy na nagkaroon ng duplikasyon rito. Nilinaw ng DOH na asahan ang ilang pagbabago sa mga numerong kanilang inire-report dahil patuloy ang kanilang ginagawang validation. Umakyat na sa 671 na PNP personnel ang nagpositibo sa coronavirus disease o COVID-19. Sa tala ng PNP Health Service, 320 sa mga kasong ito ay aktibo, kung saan 287 ang nananatili sa quarantine facility. Umakyat naman sa 342 ang nakarecover sa sakit habang 9 ang nasawi. Pinakamarami sa mga nagpositibo ay naitala sa NCRPO na may 285 na kumpirmadong kaso, 450 na probable person under investigation at 89 na suspected PUI. Sa PNP Region 7 sa Cebu, 169 na PNP personnel ang nagpositibo sa COVID-19, 156 na probable case at 694 na suspected case. Pinayagan na ang halos 1,000 units ng UB Express na makabiyahe. Sa kabila nito, maraming mga UB Express units na hindi pinayagang bumalik pasada ang umapila ngayon dahil sa kawalan na ng pagkakakitaan. Sir Erlo Bringas sa detalye.
Si Mang Renato Reyes, 4 na buwan nang nakatenga halos ang kanyang sasakyan mula nang ipatupad ang quarantine restriction sa Metro Manila. Umaasa na lamang siya sa mga ayuda mula sa pamahalaan. Ang inakala ni Mang Renato, makakasama na siya sa mga papayagang makabiyahe na mga UB Express simula ngayong araw. Pero nadismaya si Mang Renato dahil hindi pa pala siya kasama dito.
Talagang wala na talaga medyo gutom na. Akala nga namin makakabiyahe na kami. Wala pa rin kami sa listahan. Kaya hindi nga namin alam kung paano na to. Ang mga UB Express unit namang ito na 4 na buwan na rin halos nakatenga sa garahe. Ayon sa operator, kanya-kanyang diskarte na lang kanilang mga driver upang kahit papaano ay magkaroon sila ng pantustos. Malaki na rin anyang nawawala ng kita sa kanila bunsod ng COVID-19 pandemic.
Actually po talagang wala. Umasa na lang po yung iba sa relief, sa ayuda ng gobyerno. Kasi yung mga driver po natin talagang umaasa, marami na pong naapektuhan.
Pinayagan na ng LTFRB na makabalik sa kalsada ang mga UB Express ay ilang ruta sa mga lalawigan maging sa Metro Manila. Pero sa ngayon ay halos 1,000 unit lamang ang pinayagan. Paliwanag ni LTFRB Chairman Martin Delgra, napayagan nila makabiyahe ang nasa 980 UB Express units sa ilalim ng pag-iral ng GCQ. Ito'y matapos anyang aprubahan ng guidelines para sa muling pag-ooperate ng mga ito. Pero sa kabila nito, marami namang mga driver at operator ng UB Express ang hindi nakasama sa listahan ng mga pinayagang muling makabiyahe. Nanawagan din ng opisyal sa lahat ng driver at konduktor na sundin ang guidelines kabilang ng terminal-to-terminal rules, no pick-up at drop-off point ng mga pasahero. Hindi rin sila maaaring dumaan sa EDSA at Commonwealth Avenue maliban kung tatawid lang ang mga ito. Kinakailangan din sundin ang ipinatutupad na health protocols ng mga driver at pasahero katulad ng pagsuot ng face mask at gloves. Pinatutupad din ang 1 seat apart sa kada linya ng upuan upang maipatupad ang social distancing. 47 na ruta ng UB Express ang inaprubahan lamang. Karamihan sa mga halos pinayagang ruta ng LTFRB ay Bulacan, Laguna, Antipolo, Cavite, Rizal, patungo ng Quezon City at ilang bahagi ng Metro Manila, vice versa. Umaasa si Mang Renato at Ricky na sana raw ay payagan na rin silang makabiyahe upang matugunan ang kanilang pangangailangan sa araw-araw, lalo na ng kanilang pamilya.
Kami naman susunod naman kami, tsaka hihanda na rin namin yung sasakyan na yan para susunod naman kami sa utos nila. Ang hiniling lang naman namin yung makabiyahe na kami para kahit paano may panggastos kami, pang araw-araw. Kaya yun lang namin, na makabalik uli kami sa biyahe.
Sa LTFRB po, sana po maglabas na sila kagad ng mag-decide na kung babiyahe o hindi. Kasi maraming balita, babiyahe daw dapat nung 22, kasi hindi na naman tinuloy. Ay po kasi kawawa na rin po yung sektor nung UB Express. Mga driver po, malaking epekto na po sa pamilya nila.
Para sa Eagle News, Earl Ringas, we live in interesting times.
Nais na rin ng Ilocos at Cordillera regions na buksan na sa mga local tourists ang kanilang bayan para makabangon na ang ekonomiya dulot ng COVID pandemic. Ayon kay Senadora Amy Marcos, sa ilalim ng programa, maaring magpabook online ang mga turista para sa kanilang magiging sasakyan. Ang mga ito kasi ang naiikot sa mga tourist destination sa lugar. Si Mayan Corbera sa detalye.
Pinag-aaralan na ng Ilocos at Cordillera Region na buksan ang kanilang mga tourist destination. Pero lilimitahan muna ito sa kanilang mga residente at bawal pa ang mga taga Metro Manila at iba pang mga lalawigan. Ayon kay Senator Amy Marcos na dating gobernador ng Ilocos Norte, isa ito sa nakikita nilang solusyon para ibangon ang kanilang ekonomiya na matinding naapektuhan ng COVID pandemic. Marami na anya sa mga tourist operator at mga negosyo roon ang dumadaing na at hirap na hirap dahil sa pandemya. Mayorya anya ng ekonomiya ng Ilocos ay nakabatay sa remittances ng mga overseas Filipino workers. Pero hindi ito maaring asahan sa ngayon dahil maraming Pinoy sa abroad ang nawalan ng trabaho dulot ng pandemya.
Yung example lamang namin dito domestic pa lamang. At saka yung iba, may nag-umpisa na rin from San Fernando. So within the region lang or within the province for the meantime, until such time as we clarify kung ano pa talaga yung mga requirements. Kasi kung sobrang dami rin naman ng requirements, baka mahasal naman din lahat at ayaw na magpunta.
Sa ilalim ng programa na tinawag na Buklod-Buklod o Tourism Bubble in Northern Philippines, maaring magpabook online ang mga turista para sa kanilang mga sasakyang bus o jeep. Ang mga ito ang iikot sa mga tourist destinations gaya ng beach at mga restaurants. Inaasahan na anya nilang magsisimula ang trial run sa Northern Luzon tours sa susunod na 2 linggo. Ang test trip ay lilimitahan sa mga kapitbahay na lalawigan o munisipalidad o magmumula sa La Union patungong Ilocos Norte. Ang Ilocos Region anya ay kilala sa kanyang cultural heritage sites at mga beach kasama na ang surfing destinations. Nakatitiyak anya sila na masusunod ang physical distancing dahil karamihan sa kanilang ipinagmamalaking tourist spots ay mga outdoor.
Ito nga kailangan talaga mag-umpisa. Talagang hindi kakayanin na tuloy-tuloy itong quarantine. Right. So, dati halimbawa sa normal na bus, nasa 42 ang nakasakay. Siguro yung sasakay kalahati na lamang or even less pa. Tapos, finifit out yung ibang bus. Finifit out yung ibang bus na doon sa loob. Talagang lilinisin ng todo kung ano-anong sanitation. At yung iba naman, finifit out na may kainan, may lalagyan ng pagkain para doon na rin kumain sa loob ng bababa kung hindi kailangan.
Iginit naman ng senador sa datos ng DOH ang Ilocos ang may isa sa pinakamababang kaso ng COVID pandemic. Isa raw sa pinag-aaralan bago ito tuluyang umusad ay kung kailangan pang isailalim sa rapid test ang isang turista.
Marami ring Ilocano na stuck sa Manila, nagtatanong kung kailan na makakapasyal. So ito yung pinag-aaralan namin na malamang magpaparapid test. Tignan natin. Pero dahan-dahan lang kami dito kasi natatakot din lahat. At ito nga, napakaraming lola at lolo namin dito.
Para sa Eagle News, Mayan Corbera, we live in interesting times.
World Health Organization kinontra ng Malacanang sa pagsasabing number 1 ang Pilipinas sa mabilis na pagdami ng kaso ng COVID-19 sa Western Pacific region. Si Vic Sumintak sa report.
Umalma ang Malacanang
sa inilabas na ulat ng World Health Organization o WHO na Pilipinas ang may pinakamabilis na pagtaas ng kaso ng COVID-19 sa Western Pacific Region. Ayon kay Presidential Spokesman Secretary Harry Roque, maling ikumpara ng WHO ang Pilipinas sa Singapore at maglabas ng konklusyon para palabasing mabilis ang pag-akyat ng kaso ng COVID-19 sa bansa. Sinabi ni Roque, dapat per million population ang ginawang sukatan o basihan ng World Health Organization sa pagdetermina kung gaano kabilis na nadaragdagan ang kaso ng COVID-19 sa alinmang bansa. Inihag ni Roque, batay sa mga datos, lalabas na pang-anim lang ang Pilipinas sa region kung ang formula na gagamitin ay i-divide ang number ng kaso per million population. Iginit ni Roque na maling ikumpara ang Pilipinas na may 109 million population sa Singapore na may 5.9 million population lamang. Niliwanag ni Roque kung ibabatay sa populasyon ng sukatan sa pagtaya sa pagdami ng kaso ng COVID-19 sa Western Pacific Region, number 1 ang India, pangalawa ang Pakistan, pangatlo ang Bangladesh, pang-apat ang Indonesia, pang-lima ang Singapore at pang-anim ang Pilipinas.
Kung titignan natin yung pagtaas ng kaso, dapat yan in relation to your population. Bakit tayo ikukumpira sa Singapore? Ang Singapore, 5 milyon lang po yan. Isang syudad lang po yan, hindi pa syudad ng Quezon City o Manila. Pero kung i-divide nyo yung kaso sa per million population, ito po ang lalabas. Ang pinakamataas sa Western Pacific, India, 549,197. Followed by Pakistan, 202,955. Bangladesh, 137,787. Indonesia, 54,010. Singapore, 43,459. Tapos po ang Pilipinas at 35,455. So kung i-divide niyo po ang kaso per million population, malinaw po, hindi po magsisinungaling ang datos. Hindi po tayo ang pinakamabilis na dumami ng kaso sa Western Pacific region.
Para sa Eagle News, Vic Sumintak, we live in interesting times.
Susunod, enrollment para sa school year 2020-2021, hiniling sa Department of Education na palawigin hanggang July 15. Ang detalyeng yan sa pagbabalik ng Agila Balita sa umaga.
Agila Balita.
Patindi ng patindi at tuloy-tuloy ang pagpapakita ng galing ng ating mga TNG aspirants.
You're just too good to be true.
Open up, you came to get it wrong with a name, I should have drunk you back
When I was a child.
Abangan ng kanilang performances sa pinakamalaking talent competition sa buong bansa, Tagisan ng Galing.
Tagisan ng Galing is presented by SMC Infrastructure, building a better world. Sandig sugar-free white coffee, puno ng white coffee taste without the sugar, kaya lower calories. Try mo na Sandig sugar-free white coffee. Sarap ng white coffee, now sugar-free. Vet-approved NutriChocs, the only premium dog food with active boost for optimum energy and prebiotics that help strengthen immunity. Just like Catherine Bernardo, gawing listo ganado ang fur babies niyo. Listo ganado sa NutriChocs. Magnolia Chicken Templados, delicious, ready to cook and freshly marinated daily. Pure Foods Luncheon Meat, pure sarap for every family. Star Chunky Cheese Corned Beef, ang cheesy ng corned beef mo. Walang duda, kids can tell na #1 ang Pure Foods Tender Juicy. Ang tender, ang juicy, ang sarap. Co-presented by Cooper, expert in air conditioning and electromechanical. Also engaged in structural, electrical, fire protection, plumbing, and sanitary services. Cooper, your ultimate MEPS and air conditioning solutions. Unlad Incorporated International, fight against global poverty. New San Jose Builders Incorporated, Canrib Corporation, your ventilation and air conditioning specialist. Vita Herbs Philippines Green Coffee. Masarap, mabango, at healthy pa. Puerto Rico Resort and Convention Center, Cabiao, Nueva Ecija. I love Puerto Rico. In participation with Rain or Shine Elastomeric Waterproofing Paint, Matimco, R Square Variables Incorporated, Compizel Enterprises, Saisho International Trading Corporation, DN Steel, EMAC UPB Roof Corporation.
Hey, Gretchen Ho here, and I'm a white coffee lover. Creamy kasi, and very yummy. Pero mas masarap kung hindi nakaka-guilty. Check my new discovery, Sandwich Sugar-Free White Coffee. Puno ng white coffee taste without the sugar, kaya lower calories. Try mo na! Sandwich Sugar-Free White Coffee. Sarap ng white coffee, now sugar-free.
The successful development of TPLEX, or Tarlac Pangasinan La Union Expressway in 2009, a 4-lane toll road that extends from Tarlac City to Rosario La Union, with an additional approved extension of 56 kilometers all the way to San Juan La Union. This is expected to reduce travel time to Baguio and other provinces in northern Luzon. Realizing the vision of creating a better world for Filipinos fueled the team's focus.
Listo at ganado ang baby ko sa vet-approved Nutri-Chunks with active boost and prebiotics na pampalisto. Made with real meat, with essential nutrients to help them grow healthy and happy. Listo, ganado sa Nutri-Chunks.
Ikaw lang ang star ng buhay ko. Para sa akin, perfect ka. Ang cheesy ng corned beef mo. Pag Star Chunky Cheese Corned Beef, sarap ng corned beef, inangat pa ng real cheese cubes. Star Chunky Cheese Corned Beef.
Enrollment para sa school year 2020-2021, hiniling ng mambabatas na palawigin pa ng DepEd hanggang July 15, 2020. Eden Santos sa detalye.
Nanawagan sa Department of Education si AXIS Party List Representative Jocelyn Tulfo na i-extend pa ang kanilang online enrollment, remote enrollment at dropbacks enrollment hanggang July 15, 2020. Batay sa tala ng DepEd, 15 milyong estudyante pa lang ang nakapag-enroll as of June 27, 2020. Malayo ito sa mahigit 25 milyon na dami ng estudyante nitong nakarang school year. Ayon sa kongresista, nangangamba siya na kung tatapusin agad ng DepEd ang enrollment sa katapusan ng Hunyo, ay milyong-milyong mga batang magda-drop out o titigil sa pag-aaral sa darating na school year. Anya sa K-12 pa lamang ang nasabing bilang at hindi pa kasama ang milyong iba pa na pinangangambahang tumigil sa pag-aaral dahil sa kawalan ng trabaho at pagbagsak ng mga negosyo. Nananawagan din ang kongresista sa Department of Finance at Department of Budget and Management na iprioridad ang paglalaan ng pondo sa DepEd, CHED at TESDA. Malaking krisis umano sa edukasyon ang mangyayari at tatagal ng maraming taon kapag hindi nasagip ang mga estudyante. Para sa Eagle News, Eden Santos, we live in interesting times.
Nagsimula na kahapon ang pagsusumiti ng aplikasyon para sa Senior High School Voucher Program. Sa inilabas na abiso ng Department of Education sa pamamagitan ng kanilang website, mababasa dito ang requirements na kailangan nilang ihanda. Gaya ng 2x2 photo, proof of financial means, signed parent consent form, at certificate of financial assistance. Ang deadline ng application ay sa July 24, 2020. Maaari namang isubmit ang mga dokumento hanggang October 30, 2020. Paalala naman ng Department of Education na ang grade 10 completers ng school year 2019 to 2020 ay automatically qualified para sa SHS voucher program at hindi na kailangang mag-apply. Mula sa DepEd Public Schools, mula sa SUCS at LUCS, ESC grantee mula sa private schools. Simula sa July 1 ay sususpendihin na ng Land Transportation Office o LTO ang pag-i-issue ng Student Driver's Permits. Ayon kay LTO Chief Edgar Galvante, simula August 3 kasi ay dapat nang sumailalim sa 15-hour theoretical driving course ang sinumang nagnanais makakuha ng student's permit. Dahil dito ay inihahanda na ng LTO ang magiging setup ng mga driving school kung saan obligadong mag-enroll ang mga kukuha ng student's permit para sa 15-hour theoretical driving course. Inaasahang tatalakayin sa 15-hour theoretical session ang mga ipinatutupad na law and regulation sa pagmamaneho. TV Plus at Sky Cable na nagpapalabas ng mga programa ng ABS-CBN ipinapasara ng ilang kongresista. National Telecommunication Commission mag-i-issue ng alias cease and desist order laban sa nasabing mga channel. Sedin Santos sa detalye.
Is hereby called to order.
Kinwestiyon ng ilang kongresista ang patuloy na pagpapalabas ng mga programa ng ABS-CBN Corporation. Ito ay sa pamamagitan ng TV Plus at Sky Cable sa kabila ng expired ng prangkisa ng media network noong May 5, 2020. Sinabi ni House Deputy Speakers Rodante Marcoleta at Crispin Boying Remulla at anak kalusugan Party List Representative Mike Defensor na panibagong paglabag ito ng ABS-CBN.
Para po tayong nai-insulto rito, Mr. Chair. Nandito po tayo para himayin, kinukonsider po natin kung bibigyan pa natin o hindi ng prangkisa ang ABS-CBN. Pero walang puknat po nilang naipapalabas din naman ang kanilang mga programa sa dalawang platapormang aking binabanggit, gayong pareho ng paso ang kanilang prangkisa. Ayon po mismo sa report po ito ng NTC.
Ngayon, itong block time arrangement, ito po ipalusot lang to. Kasi po, ang nangyayari po, ginagamit pa rin nila yung public frequency to broadcast ABS-CBN content. And no amount of commercial arrangement ay pwede maging palusot para po sila ay makapag-broadcast ng legal. They are now conducting an illegal operation. For the past 8 weeks, their operation has been illegal, Mr. Chairman.
Alam niyo po itong usapin dito sa DG Box. Ito po ang pag-usapan dito, yung violation. Kaya ko po niraise yung personal collective privilege dahil sa patuloy nitong pag-ere. Kahit na po tapos ang prangkisa. Ang ibig ko sabihin, wag natin pag-usapan muna whether pro or against ka sa prangkisang ito. But the fact that it continues to air using the same frequency, Mr. Chairman, is not only a violation of the franchise, but it is a usurpation and infringement on the powers of Congress. Kapangyarihan natin, Mr. Chairman, kung tayo ay papayag.
Paliwanag naman ni NTC Commissioner Gamaliel Cordova na kaninang umaga lang nila natanggap ang sagot ng Office of the Solicitor General ukol sa issue. Anya, magpapalabas sila ng alias cease and desist order para ipahinto ang paglalabas ng mga programa sa TV Plus, Channel 43 at Sky Cable.
Given the circumstances, including the Supreme Court's resolution dated June 23, 2020, in the Republic's co-warrant of petition, the Supreme Court pronouncements that ABS-CBN petition will be resolved by July 13, 2020, and the continuing hearing of the House Committee on Legislative Franchise, the NTC may first issue an alias CDO. If and when ABS-CBN still continue to broadcast to Channel 43, the NTC may avail itself of effective means to stop such broadcast.
Kaya ang ibig mo sabihin, nung nag-cease and desist ka, yung mismong frequency niyan, kahit anumang programa ang nandyan, dapat huminto.
Yes, Your Honor. Correct.
Okay, yun lang po. At ang commitment mo, ngayong hapon, ihinto mo lahat ng programa.
Yes, Your Honor.
At ilalabas mo yung alias na CDO mo na yan, sa kadahilanan na yan din ang guidance sa'yo ng Solicitor General.
Tama po, Your Honor.
At yung ginawa ng ABS-CBN, na nitong 8 linggo na lumalabas sila, alam nila na may kamalian ang kanilang ginawa at may violation sa inyong nilabas na order.
Dapat po ay alam nila yan, Your Honor.
Katwiran naman ni ABS-CBN President and CEO Carlo Katigbak na may pagkakataon ng NTC ay pinayagan ng ibang network na nag-expired ang prangkisa na magpatuloy ng operasyon. Hiling nito sa komite na bigyan din sila ng due process.
That in the past, the NTC has permitted other companies whose franchises have expired but whose franchises are currently being deliberated on by Congress to continue po with their operations until such time as either the franchise application is approved or denied. So we would like permission po to ask for the same privilege to be extended sana to ABS in the spirit of fairness.
Ang sinasabi ni Mr. Katigbak, bibigyan natin siya ng due process. Pero wala na po yung prangkisa, Mr. Chair.
Nais ni Rimulya na kasuhan sa Office of the Ombudsman si Cordova habang pinagbibitiw naman siya sa pwesto ni Marcoleta. Sinabi ng dalawa na hindi ginawa ng opisyal ang kanyang trabaho sa kabila ng pag-ere ng ABS-CBN sa nakalipas na 8 linggo kahit expired na ang prangkisa nito.
I believe that we already found a ground for this committee to file a case with the Ombudsman against Commissioner Cordova, because he has willfully disobeyed the power of Congress to issue franchises and allowing an entity to operate without a franchise and earn money at the same time.
Well, June 10, 2020, sinabi po niya, na-covered itong dalawang ito. Bakit po ngayon parang sinasabi niya na kailangan po na pag-aralan sapagkat mayroong petisyon at humihingi ng TRO ang ABS-CBN sa Korte Suprema? Wala pong TRO. Sa tingin ko po, kung ako ang masusunod, dapat mag-resign po si Commissioner Cordova because he is not doing his job.
Para sa Eagle News, Eden Santos, we live in interesting times.
Mga pangyayari sa labas ng bansa. Balitang Abroad.
Halos 70 kataong patay at ilang dosena pa ang nawawala sa paglubog ng isang ferry sa Bangladesh capital na Dhaka. Ayon sa mga rescue official, lumubog ang ferry matapos bumangga sa isa pang vessel. Sinabi ni Fire Brigade Officer Hinayat Hussein na 23 bangkay na ang narecover ng mga otoridad. Aniya, 50 katao ang sakay ng ferry nang mangyari ang aksidente. Sinasabing overcrowding ang isang dahilan ng aksidente. Nasa 6 katao ang nasawi sa pag-atake ng mga armadong lalaki sa Pakistan Stock Exchange sa Karachi. Ayon sa pulisya, ang pag-atake ay kagagawa ng ethnic Baluch separatist. Kabilang sa mga napatay ay 4 na security guards, isang police officer at isang bystander. Sinabi naman ni local police chief Gholam Nabi Mimon na napatay din ng mga otoridad ang 4 na attackers. Narecover naman ng Karachi Police ang ilang modern automatic weapons at explosive materials mula sa mga terorista. At yan ang naging kabuuan ng ating maiinit na balita. Sa pangalan ng ating mga kaagapay sa Eagle News Service, ako po si Christopher Salbon, will live in interesting times. Susunod na ang programang Saganang Mamayan kasama sina Congressman Dante Marcoleta at Jen Subarjaga.
Sumainyo ang mga balita